In September 2019, she was selected to be the storyteller for Arts and Faith St. Louis annual Interfaith concert, and with a humorous tale of cultural misunderstanding. Tonight, her story is called The Luminous Love Story of the Sun. Nartana, take it away.
Thank you, Ken. So this is one of my favorite Hindu myths. We created a production from this for our dance show a couple of years ago, actually. So this is how it goes. It's not 100%, it doesn't fit the theme 100%, but hopefully like 70%. So a long time ago, there was a great king, and he was not simply any great king, he was the cosmic architect. He created trees and he created planets. It was all his doing. And he had a daughter, a very pretty daughter, and her name was Sajana. And as a little girl, she would always go out into the palace grounds and she would play outside all the time. She would hate coming back inside. And when she got older, as a teenager, she still did the same thing. She would go out, she would tell the flowers and the birds, she would say, "You're so lucky you're outside all the time. You get to see the sun all the time." For that's what Sajana loved when she was outside. She loved being under sunlight. She loved seeing the sun. When she was a teenager, the other girls would all talk about, handsome princes and everything. But she never did that. She would play on the swing in the sun. She would dance in her courtyard under the sunlight. She loved it so much. She hated going inside. Now her father noticed this. And when the time came for her to start thinking about marriage, he took her on an elephant ride one day. And he said, "Sajana, I've been observing you. You can't take your eyes off the sun. Is the god of the sun the one you want to marry?" She says, she's shy, she turns aside. She says, "Yes, Father, how did you know?" And he says, "Well, I love you very much, my dearest, so I could tell, I figured it out. So let's go ask the sun, whose name, by the way, is Surya, so I may call him Surya. Let's go ask the sun, see if he would like to marry you." So they go to his palace, Surya's palace. It's a huge, gleaming, resplendent palace, sunlight everywhere. And so the father goes and asks Surya if he would like to marry his daughter, and Surya says yes. And the father is happy because you can't ask for a better match for the daughter of the cosmic architect than the god of the sun, himself. But the father has a worry. He pulls his daughter aside and he tells her, "Surya has accepted to marry you, but remember, in the summertime, when the sun is high in the sky and the day is filled with light, will you be able to handle that heat, the glowing being of the sun? Will you be able to bear his brilliance?" And she doesn't even hesitate. She says, "I will, Father." So Sajana and Surya marry, and they're very, very happy. She has a child, everything's great. But one day in midsummer, she goes to see her husband and she can't even approach him. She can't even come close to him. And he tells her, "What's wrong? Why can't you approach me? What's wrong with you?" The sun, he's not a cruel man, actually. He's just brilliant. He's filled with his own light, but he does give life to the world. So he is a kind man. And she cannot even explain to him why she can't approach him because she's sweating. She's so tired from the heat, she can hardly speak. And she says, I can't come near you. And he's so angry. He says, "The child you bear now will be the god of death." And she's horrified and she runs. And she does indeed give birth to a child who becomes the god of death. Anyway, she's wondering what to do about this, and then she thinks, "I want to go see my parents. I want to go see my father." And then she realizes, though, well, if I go there, I can't stay there with them too long. It's not proper for a married woman to spend too much time with her parents, but I'll go anyway. So she goes. So she heads out. And as she's walking, she rests in a glade, and there's a little pond, a little lake, surrounded by trees, and she rests there. And she thinks of what to do because she knows her father is going to tell her to go right back. So what should she do? So she sits by the lake, and she watches the sun playing on the water, and then she sees a shape on the lake, and she's shocked by that. What's the shape on the lake? And she looks closer, and she's thinking something familiar, something about the shape is familiar, and then she recognizes it. It's her shadow. So she tells her shadow into the lake, "Come, arise." So her shadow arises from the lake, and Sajana has an idea. She tells her, "You go," because Sajana's shadow looks exactly like her. She tells her, "You're a shadow. You always give shelter to those in heat. Go, live with my husband. Live with him, take care of my children. I can't do it anymore." So she agrees, and she goes off. Her shadow goes off to stay with the king. Stay with Surya, the god of the sun. And then Sajana turns around, and she goes to her father's house. And, her father is very happy to see his daughter. He loves her greatly. But after a few days, he realizes something's not quite right here. She's spending too much time here. And then, being the cosmic architect who builds everything, he realizes, I think I know what's wrong. But he doesn't say anything. He says, "I think you should go back to your husband." She says, "Okay." So she leaves. In the meantime, her shadow is really, really happy living with the sun. And the sun, because he's so brilliant, right? He's so filled with his own light. He doesn't even realize that this is a shadow. But who realizes that this woman is a shadow? The children. And the children tell the father, "This is not our mother. This is a shadow." And Surya gets very angry, and he asks for an explanation. And the shadow breaks down and cries and tells him the explanation, explains everything to him. So Surya thinks, well, let me go see her father. She must be with her father. So he goes back to Sajana's father. And the father welcomes him. And the father, of course, knows that his daughter has left. And Surya explains everything to him. And the cosmic architect tells him that my daughter can't stand your heat. It's very difficult for her to live with you. And then he realizes, oh my goodness, I was so selfish. I should have realized this. What do I do? Well, the cosmic architect, being the cosmic architect, has an idea. He tells him, "I will chisel away 1/8 of your rays. And then I think she'll be able to bear your brilliance." So he agrees. So they go off and they find Sajana in the forest somewhere. And then they explain everything. And then Sajana and her shadow go and live with Surya and live happily ever after. The end.
Thank you, Nartha. Thank you. It's a great myth and a good story, and not the first story, or maybe that is one of the first stories where the like Surya, the family has trouble with a son-in-law. Let's see.
Ken, I did not think of that.
Yes. Well, it's because you have a more sophisticated mind than I do. We wallow in the cheap laughs down here. So